going to be my sketch for this is a sketchbook I've been working on since about the beginning of the school year. I don't remember the exact date. It was either late August or early September when I first started this one, and I just finished it around this past week or so, maybe a little bit further than that, maybe a couple weeks now. But let's get this sketch tour going. Alright, so we start off with this picture. Hey Wolf Warrior, hey Harrison, and hey Anika! Welcome! Wasn't really in love with how this one came out, but I'd like to pursue it again sometime, just a Tetra drawing. These are some redrawings of ideas I have for a, Pokemon. From a request night on my Tumblr like a year or so ago. So I was trying to do some redesigns for that, but ended up not really going through with it. Some Terriermon doodles. These are some studies of the foot, which I really need to get to doing more of these because I have assignments linked to these that I need to get taken care of. Here's some more little Terriermon doodles. That's Katie. That's Katie's OC. These are some little doodles of Marion that I never got around to posting. Let's see, and then I'm going to go on the back of that page. More Marion. And then these are some doodles I took from, or I did from references from Merus. Merus on Tumblr has some really gorgeous stuff. So these are just kind of working from her stuff. But that's Marion and Kyle from Way to Go Paul, the story I'm writing. These are some more gesture study things. We have some Hollow Knight stuff, so that's a Hornet design, and that's a little ghost design. And then I think I went on to do a couple more Hornet designs, because I'd love to someday do a compilation of just a ton of different Hornet designs on how you can interpret her character, because I think it's just really fun. I know her character is, sprite is very simple, but I think it's very fun to play with. These are some requests I did for someone from my, Inconspicuous Pigeon, who is one of my patrons. They are the highest level patron, which gets to have a sketch doodle every month. So he requested this old character from way back in high school that I used to draw. So that's what he is. That's some notes these are some notes and some sketches for a project I did for class. It was based on a childhood experience. So I was playing around. Hey, I have no idea how to say your name, but welcome to the stream. But I didn't really know, so I went around, these are butterfly kisses is kind of the idea here, and then some different ways of portraying my grandfather's funeral when I was a kiddo, so that's what those are. And then a bunch of wolf doodles, and then some drawings of Rowan and Max from the podcast I'm writing, called Live from the Apocalypse. This is Rowan, the main character. Just kind of did some doodles on kind of what she's day to day. See some notes for stuff. Okay, good. Some more Rowan doodles, and then some Max doodles because I just love her. Some notes for stuff for projects that I'm working on, and then some more Rowan doodles. Pretty sure I never posted these ones. These were just little sketches that I wasn't in love with, but took care of. This one got really scuffed up, kind of, but this is supposed to be a sketch idea for a Gajinka for a Gengar, to match Gajinka to a Clefairy I did the other day. Well, the other day, I mean a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, since Gengars and Clefairies are kind of matching Pokemon. This is a Vito version of Link's Loftwing, and then just some, I'm really sad that this page got so scuffed up. These were just some playing around with gesture poses for a bunny. So playing with the ears and the legs and all that stuff. Rowan and Max again. And then these are thumbnail sketches I did for it's Quiet Uptown, which is actually uploaded on my channel, if you guys have seen that. So these are what the storyboard thumbnails look like for that. Oh, this is the sketch I did for a relief print carving I did before I transferred it. This is stuff for a class. Then we get back to the thumbnails. Just a random girl, because I kind of miss drawing people in kimonos. I used to, back when I was like way back in like 7th grade, 8th grade, I used to, because you know, I was super into manga and stuff, so I used to really enjoy drawing people in kimonos, and I just don't anymore really, so I kind of miss that. This is a drawing of the character Nadine, I believe is the name I settled on. I know I've been vacillating between a few names. Anime phase, yes. I used to draw lots of people with like Asian-y clothes, and that sounds like it's not a specific like Asian race, because it wasn't back when I drew it. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't good at researching and picking a good actual like race identifier. I just went for like Asian vibe, which isn't chill or anything, but it's just what I did back in 7th grade. But anyway, so this is Nadine from the podcast I'm writing. These are a bunch of notes from classes, but this is a small little woodblock print I made. Was it wood? It might not have been wood, but no, it was wood. I remember now, because that's why this is so laterally focused. So this is also of Max from my podcast. Oh, there's this page, which is from, I think, my previous sketchbook, but it might be from this one. That's a bunch of, but I did a request night for a bunch of like human versions of animals, and so just for character design practice. So these are some of those. I transferred a couple of them onto my iPad, which I just recently got, and did some colored versions. More Life from the Apocalypse. Doodles type stuff. Oh, I feel a sneeze coming on, just so y'all know. Oh. Oh, so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. These are like the same sketches from earlier in the sketchbook. I wasn't really happy with how they looked, so I wanted to try them again. Thank you. This is my brother's character. I'm not actually sure who that was supposed to be. I don't remember. This is an idea of like a night sky with like these teeth marks around like the sun or something. I don't know. It was from like something I was looking at, like a picture of the night sky that I thought looked like that. These are some redrawings of some Zelda sketches I've had for a long time. So that's Terror and that's Nehru. And then this is a redraw of a scene of that ending scene from Ocarina of Time. And then we have just a bunch more Zelda doodles. So we have Nabooru, and then a bunch of different Zelda designs for various Zelda AUs. So just kind of playing with different outfits for her. That's actually for another different Zelda AU, but that's Rome, which is Zelda's younger brother in the AU. But playing around with the designs, they're all designed by my twin, who has such a great eye for character design. And then some redrawings of some more of Katie's designs and stuff. An idea for the sword spirit inside of the Phantom Hourglass sword. I'd still love to do a little bit more revamping with that one. This is a redraw of an old picture of Isaac from Paranatural. In a little AU idea-ish I have where it's just so simple. It's just spectral energy is like little butterflies, so he just has all these butterflies. Oh, thank you, Anika. This is a drawing I wanted to do to color in, because I really liked it, of Zelda, but I never got around to it, and probably won't. More Zelda designs specifically for Katie's AU. And these are some designs I did for Arya, this is Arya, who is a character from Life from the Apocalypse. and this other guy who's just basically a garbage stink man based on, like, basically one of the worst human beings I've ever met. Who was just, like, a scummy kind of dude. And I was just, developing her backstory at the time, so these are all sketches based on that. And then I was going to do a couple more pose practices with her because she used to be a ballerina. Some crow and raven sketches. And then we have like a Zelda right there. And then we have Nadine, and she had this girl she was in love with, which is part of her backstory. So some Nadine backstory doodles. And then just because I make AUs for my own stories, this is like for a Digimon AU for Life in the Apocalypse. So just some meditations on what would their partners be. Not super. I'm not a big fan of the sketches I did, but whatever. More Life in the Apocalypse doodles and some of that lemur character that I had drawn earlier. And then some even more Life in the Apocalypse doodles, because Rowan has a rough time. Oh, this is another version of that. So I redrew that picture multiple times in order to get it right. Almost just flip that back further. That's more of the lemur character. We got a Ravio, we got a Hornet design. These are a couple Max and Rowan sketches off to the side. And then this is a character from a series of paintings I still would love to do, but still haven't gotten around to doing, so just like sketching them out, because I just love the design and the way their hair flows and stuff. These are some vent doodles I did from a particularly rough day I was having, where I was showing my art advisor some of my work, and my art advisor was basically saying, in the nicest words possible, these aren't good. So these are just some vent doodles I had from that. I'm better now, but hey, welcome to the stream, Septic Girl. But that was a rough day. This is an Aria doodle related to her backstory again. Another Nadine doodle with related to her backstory. Some Zelda sketches because I want to do a Zelda animatic at some point, but I haven't gotten around to it. And then some quick Hilda sketches from A Link Between Worlds, because I just think Hilda's a really interesting character. And I love the idea of her having this short haircut with really curly hair. Then we get to a bunch of re-sketches from old Zelda animatics I've done for the most part. This is a design for Zelda, and then these are from Daughter of the Moon, I believe is what it's called. So just some re-doodles based on that, and then just sketches because I like Hilda, and I like Princess Zelda, and I like Ravio. More doodles for the podcast I'm writing, and then just some re-sketches of some old stuff from a Motor City AU I have, where Julie has an alter ego. She pretends to be when she's down in Motor City instead of just going by Julie. She pretends to be a guy named AJ, and I just really like the designs, so I wanted to play with them a little bit more since it has been quite a while. These are some sketches I did from a drapery, I think, book I had gotten from the library that I wanted to do some more sketches from, but never got around to. Thank you, Septic Girl. So these are just like looking at how like cloth hangs and stuff. This is another one from those human animal requests. So this is an idea for a snail, and I don't know why, I just really locked onto the idea of him being a skateboarder. Oh, and then I played Among Us a bit. So I have a bunch of Among Us doodles about like dynamics between the crew and stuff. So I usually play as a teal with a little green like sprout on his head. And just about experiences I had, like one time I stood still and pulled out a map, and somebody was like, they were standing still, it was probably them. And then one time I tried following someone around. Hey, welcome to the stream, Kathleen. One time I was like, I'll just stick by this guy and we'll be like safe together. And then they were like, they were following me. That's super suspicious. Just some doodles of that. Oh, and then so like my silly like Among Us theory is that the crew is stuck in a time loop, and every time the time loop resets, someone new is the imposter, and like something like basically kind of like takes over them. And then this is my other character from a different story that I is on the back burner for now, but his name is Silas, and he also goes through time loops. So that's why I drew him with her. These are my dad's sketches of broccoli. This is Ever and Sly. They are side characters that appear in only one episode of my podcast, Live from the Apocalypse. But they're cute and they're in love. And now I think for a couple different pages we have the thumbnails I've done for my Zelda Castle animatic that I would love to get around to doing, but just haven't found it in me to do because it requires lots of work. And then I did a bunch of wolf studies. Wolves are hard to draw, you know? Their body shape, like, it's fun to draw them, but also I just have such a hard time knowing how to navigate the muzzle shape. Furries, I don't know how they heckin' do it. And, like, warrior cat animators, they manage to work around the weird three-dimensionality of the muzzle really well, and I just have a hard time figuring it out. These are mild spoilers from Life in the Apocalypse, but I don't think it's too obvious if you don't know what's going on. Then these are just some quick sketches that I would like to touch up sometime, but some quick ideas on the progression of Fee and Skyward Sword as the sword gets upgrades and what she would look like. And then this is when this Master Sword is fully unleashed. These are some designs for Blaze and for Rouge from Sonic based on Leafins. If you guys know Leafins on Tumblr, designs that they have for them. When I might start producing the podcast, I'm hoping to have the podcast ready to go by the end of spring semester. I've been writing it in my free time. So right now, the episodes will be really short, probably between 10 to 15 minutes. And there's projected to be 16 episodes total, and I'm writing episode 15 right now. So once those are done, I'm going to send them out to people for some peer reviewing, so that I can try to get them a little bit better, and then we'll get to figuring out how to make an actual podcast and how to record it and stuff. The story is intended to be 3 seasons, maybe 2 seasons, but preferably 3 seasons. But I don't know if I'll be able to do that just because of time constraints. So several of the characters, like Arya, are intended for season 2 and don't actually appear in season 1, which is sad because I really love them. But I promised myself I would at least try to do 1 season of it, so that's what I intend to do. Let's see. You can tell this was a bad day because I have some stuff where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling overwhelmed. This is a picture of Yiska, who is also a character from Life from the Apocalypse. Man, a lot of these are Life from the Apocalypse characters. I'm so sorry. That's a basically empty page. Some thumbnail ideas. Then some more Among Us doodles with a different cast, except I'm the same because that one's me, but it's basically ideas of what my friends look like because I was playing with them. More Life in the Apocalypse doodles of Rowan, because Rowan is in a lot of ways like me, and so I kind of am like, yeah, Rowan probably feels the same way I do about a lot. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's so nice out today, so I can't help but to have my window open, but I think all that debris from those leaves really gets up in my nose and makes me sneezy. Some more of those, for that one Zelda animatic storyboards. More Among Us doodles. More Among Us doodles, because it always seems like whenever we open up the lobby, like at the last minute, someone ends up coming in, and it's always someone with a name like Poop or whatever, and I don't know, I just think it's funny. Some sketches for an idea I was going to do about, again, I'm sorry, this is all OC work right now, but I have this one story where it's, Cinderella is a boy who is a stable boy, and he's in love with the prince. And so these are ideas, just some sketches. Hey, welcome to the stream, Tommy. So these are some ideas for them dancing, like, with, masks on. And then this is a sketch that I turned into a bigger sketch that I turned into a print that I will show at some point on my, Tumblr. The prints are just right now still in the process of having the ink dry before we can pull them down and I can get good pictures of how the prints turned out. These are thoughts of a prompt we had for a release print. So these are different ideas of the concept of, right now I draw Rowan, which OCs do you love to draw the most? I draw Rowan a lot from Life in the Apocalypse. And I also really love drawing my characters from the story I'm writing, Way to Go, Paul. So Kyle and Rowan and, mostly I think Kyle and Rowan are kind of like my comfort characters to draw and stuff. But the prompt had, so I was thinking about that kind of stuff, and then we have some, I was just barely also learning about how pronghorns struggle with barbed wire that the different farms put up, because the sagebrush sea, basically, it's not an actual sea, but it's the sagebrush, is this place where they're meant to be able to explore in order to survive. Like, they're supposed to move around a lot, but they get caught really easily on the barbed wire, and it's like a real issue. These are the rest of the storyboards. I kind of got simpler and simpler the further I went, because I knew what I meant, and it was kind of hard to draw. Some more Zelda and Link stuff. This is some Max and Rowan from Life in the Apocalypse, and just, like, I really like them, and I really liked it anyway. This is Katie, and some, like, self-insert stuff I did for our birthday. So just, like, some of her with her Digimon and me with my Digimon, and I figure mine would probably be a little bit of a turd, because I'm a little bit of a turd. Some more fan Digimon designs. This is for another story of mine that's on a back burner. I'm sorry, I got so many stories I'm talking about this time. I didn't realize I'd done this much OC work. The story's called The Mother and the Beast, and it's about a woman who gives birth to basically a child who's supposed to end the world, and how she copes with that, and how she decides what to do with that child. And she ends up deciding not to kill the baby, but to raise him, because she can't stand the thought of killing her own child. Some more doodles, and then we pursue this idea a little bit through different things. Oh, this is Zelda from Spirit Tracks. Quick doodles. And so I ended up landing on this, and this is the print I ended up making for that class. I have patches of it that I made. A quick Among Us comic, because there's this one friend of mine that every time we play, I always am like, you know what, I'm on your side, and then he always ends up being the killer. But he always, like, spends time with me without killing me, so I always think it can't be him. These are these particular are some sketches from real life, and then these are just some sketches. That's Ron again. Zelda, this is a Legend of Zelda comic I'd like to do about some Zelda talking to Fi while she's inside of Calamity Ganon. Then just some sketches in my free time. Sorry, lots of notes from classes and stuff. Some more sketches. I particularly like that one. That's me. How long have I been drawing? I started trying to draw, like seriously start drawing, way back in 2nd grade. So that's, oh my gosh, don't make me count that far back. So, 10, 13 years-ish. I would never say I'm good. I don't think I've ever studied as hard as I should. But I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better. Yeah, that's that. This is a quick drawing of Max. This is a drawing from, I just recently turned 21, and so I went to, my parents had took me to a bar where they dance. And I was really surprised to run into this old friend of mine who also is kind of like an old bad friend of mine because she was kind of, anyway, not going to go into that. But I was just surprised to see her there because I didn't realize she was also 21. Oh, this is a quick doodle of Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls. I just wanted to do a quick doodle of Bubbles because I thought she'd be cute. This is a rubbing from the carving I was doing. So when you're, while you're working on a relief print, you're carving out a block. And a quick, easy way to see how it's coming and how the readability is coming is just to do like a rubbing of it. So I have these occasionally through here. Quick link design. I believe when I was deciding to do Turn the Lights Off, which I'm currently working on, and I'm over a third of the way through the song. I know the last update I said a third of the way. Oh, thank you, Septic Girl. But I'm more than a third of the way. This is a request I did for Blair Diggory, I believe, over on my Tumblr, which is their Miraculous Ladybug sauna, basically, with the Peacock Miraculous, which, yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't want to say it was Anika because I wasn't positive, but I was relatively sure it was you. But yeah, you. And I'm actually really happy with how it came out. I'd actually kind of like to give it some color sometime, but probably not, because I'm lazy. Some more stuff from that request night. Somebody said they had a D&D character that I believe they said was like African American, Greek centered. So I kind of decided to do like this like Greek paladin look vibe. I don't know if I really captured what they wanted, but I kind of like the character design. More from that, somebody said they wanted two characters, one that was based on a sunflower and one that was based on sakura. I kind of wish I had done a little bit different with both of them, but that's okay. They're just quick sketches. Somebody in one of my classes mentioned that they have two characters based on the words shout and whisper, and so I ended up, I don't know what theirs are like, but I couldn't help myself but to. Thank you, Tammy David. I really enjoy drawing Gajinkas. I really enjoy, like, doing that kind of character design stuff. So these are shout and whisper, and I just like the idea of whisper being big but quiet and shout being small but loud. Some Deku Link designs as I was trying to figure him out. Somebody wanted a Lunar Moth Gajinka, and I kind of already have one, which is this, the Fairy King Oberon in one of my stories, and it never comes up in the story. This is just extensive lore that I've decided on my own. In the fairy realm, Oberon and Titania are actually kind of like the titles for their king and queen. So this is the current Oberon, and his Titania is like way taller than him. And I just really like his design. And this was kind of like cleaning up and making his design cooler, which I quite like. This is a sketch I decided to do a Ferror, but I'm still not happy with how it looks. I feel like there's just still not enough energy going through here. I think I should have pushed this line more, rather than having her go up and down so much. Ralph and Nehru from Oracle of Ages, Azora. I'm doing lots of Zelda stuff because I had Zelda on my mind. Just because I like Zelda. Some sketches of Juice and 10 from 17776, if you guys know that. Some Skull Kid sketches as I was trying to decide what my design for him was going to be for the PMV I'm working on. More Kid Link, and then a quick sketch of Impa, just because I think, 17776 is so good. Don't even get me started. The existentialism, the character development, the trying to deal with impending doom, I love it. But for the Age of Calamity, I don't really like how their Impa looks. I think their Impa looks too soft. I think Impa's character design should be a little bit sharper than that, so this is kind of my own little idea of what she could look like without changing her design too much. Some more stuff. Oh, this is complaining about my professor in one of my classes always shows us art that people have done that's like, oh, technology is so awful and stuff, and I'm like, I'm so sick of seeing art that's about how bad technology is. I'm just sick of it. It's not interesting anymore. It's not a hot take. It's just boring. Another quick Mother and the Beast sketch that I don't really like. Some ideas. This is another idea of I had this one theory about the Happy Mask Salesman that is like it's like really elaborate, but part of it has to do with the idea that he is a child, one of those children that used to runs on the moon in Majora's Mask, and he escaped from the moon. So that's kind of what this is, and I'd love to do full coloring of this sometime, but probably won't ever get around to it. This is something for one of Katie's Zelda AUs, where Zelda is pretending to be a Sheikah and Link is pretending to be a scholar in order to, because like the world's taken over by Ganon and they don't want to be caught. And they don't realize that the other one is, Munia. Yeah, Munia's in the same apartment as me right now, so she can hear me, talking, which, bless her. But so this is about that, and in my idea, I like the idea of, Zelda's pretending to be a Sheikah, and then the Happy Mask Salesman is helping her out because Impa's otherwise indisposed, and Impa's busy being in the spirit realm as a sage, and so the Happy Mask Salesman is an ex-Sheikah, so neither of them are technically Sheikah. It's just two people pretending to be Sheikahs. These are some doodles based on the 20020. If you guys have seen, it's like the 1771, sorry, 17776. I don't know how. That sequel. And I haven't actually kept up track with it, but I did read the first couple updates. And I just love Jusen 10's dynamic, where she wakes up and she gets to, and he recorded the sunrise for her because she couldn't see it yet. And I don't know, I like their dynamic because it's so clearly not romantic. It's just that they're like, but they're close in this other way. Some more Life from the Apocalypse sketches. This is working on, you might have seen the design this is based on from earlier, which you're going to see this reappear a couple more times before I settle on a design for it. This is another design I wanted to do for a release print that I haven't done yet, but still would like to do. I develop it more later, so you'll see some more evolution of that. Welcome to fucking Friday, am I right, fam? Fridays are the day, Friday mornings are always, just because of the class I have on Friday mornings, they're always almost my worst days, at least at the beginning. A Zorlink quick sketch, and then these are Katie's designs for Majora's Mask, if you know Mikau and Lulu. These are some designs for them, but like Breath of the Wild Zora, which I really like. And again, would like to color sometime, but probably not. Some more thumbnail sketches for those two print ideas I've been talking about, and then some even more development of them. This is another print I would like to do, or even just painting in general, of this idea of Atlas and carrying the world, but instead it's someone carrying their own sorrow. And then this would be like a companion piece to it that I would like to do some more pursuit of this one because I don't fully love how this one looks. But the idea of happiness being ambrosia and nectar. So your sorrow is like the world that Atlas has to carry on his back, and then your happiness is like ambrosia and nectar, which is like the food of the gods. This is the design I ended up settling on. It looks really cool when it's carved out, and I will be posting some of those on my Tumblr, probably within this week. So if y'all are follow my Tumblr, you guys can expect to see those within this week. and there's a lot about it, and I'll probably include the reasoning and the symbolism and all the different stuff, because there's a lot of symbolism and stuff in this. But I'll probably include that in the Tumblr post. Some Yiska from Life in the Apocalypse. Yiska is a demi-boy and is Dene, which some of you may more commonly known as Navajo, but they prefer to call themselves Dene. Yiska has a bunch of sheep that they take care of. And they also have some chronic pain in like their joints and stuff. And so they have good days and they have bad days. And on their bad days, they usually use a cane for support. More Life in the Apocalypse doodles. I have so many random pages in here that I don't need. Let's see, we got a link, and then just some quick gesture sketches for a Australian Shepherd. So this is how I drew it without like a proper reference, and then this is, or with a proper reference, but not using the reference properly, if that makes sense. Doggies. So this is me trying to break the Australian Shepherd down into basic shapes that are easier to work with and play with. And then one movement one. More Life in the Apocalypse duels and kind of spoilers, but again, I don't know if you'll really be able to know how they're spoilers if you don't know what's going on. But yeah, Kitty, and then Wolf and Kitty. Basically, a bunch of characters get hurt right at the end there. More notes from school. This is a Marion doodle I wanted to do some more versions of and color, but didn't get around to it. Marion's symbol is a daffodil usually, and I wish I could remember why. I'm pretty sure it has to do with like sorrow or like regrets or something, because he's done a lot of stuff he's not proud of in his past. This is a human Gomamon doodle. Some sketches from the box that I'll also be posting some pictures of this box that I handmade start to finish up on my Tumblr within probably the next week. So if you guys are interested in that, follow my Tumblr, because I've worked really hard on this box. Some more Arya doodles, trying to figure out her style and everything. She has, there's a name for this, but her hair is like, so she's black, and there's a better word for that. Anyway, but so she has her hair in like these little braids, and so if you look, you can see kind of like the individual drawings of like the braids. So just like some different stuff based on her, because I really like her. She's also a character that I've all the main cast of Life in the Apocalypse has 5 total characters, and I've really kind of done some really nice. I want to say it's different from dreadlocks. I think because dreadlocks are like I think they're more twisted. I'm not positive. I'm very white. I'm pasty white, y'all. But I want to say dreadlocks are more twisted, and hers are like specifically braided. Like my brain keeps saying cornrows, but I'm pretty sure it's not cornrows either. And I've done really deep dives into all of the characters for Life in the Apocalypse, especially the ones that aren't my race, because only Rowan's my race. So I've done my best to try to get talking to people who have backgrounds that are similar or can be used to help educate myself on how these characters are. Anyway, so I've just done lots of backstory work on all of them. These are some more. Okay, so maybe it is cornrows. Thank you, Mark. A human Gomamon doodle. Then this is an idea for a human version of a crab still from those same requests. And then a decay snake, which is just this tiny little snake. So I did a sketch of that. Then some Spirit Tracks doodles. This one in particular, when I say I want to go and color this one, I say that about a lot of stuff in this, but I mean it about this one. This is a scene from Spirit Tracks that I redraw every 3 years or so, and so this is a redrawing from that. Even more Spirit Tracks doodles of for those of you guys who have never played Spirit Tracks, in it Zelda is taken from her body and is basically a ghost. So these are some sketches of that, and then some ideas of if she's a ghost, if she gets angry, what kind of cool designs you can get for that. This is a redraw of an old, it's a re-sketch of an old sketch, and I didn't finalize it or anything, so I was just re-sketching it for funsies. Quick Ganondorf doodle. Sorry, I keep pages of work in here. So these are, I'm taking écorché right now, which is the study of the muscles of the human body. So that's what that's about. Another Spirit Tracks Zelda, and then a Tetra, and then some redrawings from Wind Waker. And then I watched Seis Manos on Netflix recently, which is a very good, a really good, Hispanic anime, if that makes any sense. The main cast is all Hispanic, and they live in Mexico, and they have kung fu stuff in it, and it's really good. It's by no means perfect. There's definitely some issues with it, but I really enjoyed it. It probably won't get a season 2, which makes me sad, because I would love to get a season 2 and see where the story's going. I got together with some of my friends, and we did a watch of Over the Garden Wall. And I'm pretty sure these are all sketches from that. So we have some Wirtz, with his crazy hair, and then just sketches of some of the different characters, and then simplified version. And then just a quick, because Beatrice wasn't, you only see Beatrice coming for 2 seconds, so that's a doodle of that. And then that's a quick sketch of Lorna when she's laying in the flowers. That just that scene is so nice. Queen of the Clouds, some more work. Then I shift gears to some Legend of Zelda stuff again, because I'm always thinking about Legend of Zelda. And I wanted to do something I want to say some painting practice. And so some of these are I intended to paint them, but didn't get around to it. That's Rallis from Twilight Princess. He's one of my favorite characters from Twilight Princess. That one sketch, if you guys remember the one where I was I wish that I had shown the curve better in it. This is a quick sketch on how I could have better done the gesture in that drawing. Then these are some different character design thoughts on Ravio from Breath of the Wild. Sorry, I'm very shaky right now. Here we go. Trying to figure out what to do, if I wanted to give him the bunny hood, or if I wanted to have his hair do something where it just looks like a bunny, so maybe it was 2 little buns, or just maybe it's tied up in a ponytail, but it's has a bow on it that looks kind of like bunny ears. Then some other quick sketches, some ideas for a different version of Hilda that I wasn't really vibing with, so I just kind of moved on with. These are kind of like Minish doodles, but also they don't look like canonical Minish, but I just had fun doing these. And then some quick sketches of a design for Ferror. I always have such a hard time finding a design for Ferror I actually like, but I kind of am vibing really a lot with the way that these look, with the big poofy dress and then the little branches coming out of her little buns. Some more sketches, and then some stuff. Why was I drawing these? They are Smash Bros characters, but I don't know. Some vent art, because I was just having a really rough day. So, and I have some quote lines from the Crane Wives, Tongues and Teeth. That is a fantastic song. More characters. This is another quick Rowan sketch. This is a character who appears again in only one episode of Live from the Apocalypse. Their name is Lior. They're a Jewish character who is in this Jewish community, which I guess that's kind of spoilers, but I really like Lior, and I really like their the world building around how they survived the apocalypse. This is some character redesign thoughts on an old character of mine that, if you were here earlier, his name is Silas. He's the one who is stuck in a time loop. So this is his original design, but I'm just not really happy with it anymore. It's so simple, and his hair makes no sense. So just kind of doing some different outfit design concepts and then some different hair design concepts. I ended up going with this one where it's just in like this really lazy tied back loop. And then another sketch of him with the hair like that. This is something I did for one of my followers on Tumblr. They're a really sweet follower of mine that has done multiple commissions to me, so I just love doing little sketches and stuff for them because they're very sweet and nice, and I just really enjoy them. Speaking of, if any of you guys are ever interested in supporting me, I have a Ko-fi where you guys can just drop me like $3 tips. I do commissions, which you guys can just contact me if you're interested in commissions. And I also have a Patreon if you're interested in supporting me on a monthly basis. So if you're ever interested in supporting me, those are all options for you. Some ideas for a front thumbnail for Life in the Apocalypse. I didn't end up sketching out almost any of these beyond just the start phase. Oh, I forgot I did that one. That one might be good too. Not a redesign, but a re-sketch of an old design for a like Fanmon Digimon. Quick navy sketch that I just outlined in highlighter to make it look cool. Someone else's fan Digimon that I drew for them. And then we get to a bunch of thumbnails for some relief prints that I was going to do. Well, I am doing one of them, but I'd like to get back and do some of these other ones later. I ended up deciding to do this one, which I think I think I sketched it in my new sketchbook, because we're very close to the end of this one. Some more sketches, character design and touch-ups for a character from a different story of mine. If you guys have watched my Exunt animatic on here, this is one of the main characters from that, Aaron. So this is the original design, and then this is the kind of revamped design that I think I like a little bit more. I think it has a little bit more flavor to it. And then some other ideas on stuff he might wear. This is Dimitri from that story. A quick sketch of Silas that I didn't like. Hey, welcome to the stream, Misty. So for those of you guys who don't know, which I would assume is a good chunk of you, Cumulus is a story idea I have, where basically there used to be these beings that would control the clouds, which are like cloud horses. Oh, thank you, Misty. When those beings died, the like horses that would be took a bunch of the cowboys and put them on these islands in the sky, and those cowboys are now in charge of taking care of the clouds. And so I did some, I went back and decided to do a little bit more work into the world building of that, because I did some research into like the different kind of outfit designs and stuff that would be used by the different cultures and stuff that would have been taken from those and raised up to the heavens. And so we have like Chinese railroad workers, and then different Mexican cowboys and that kind of stuff. And then we have some Chinese traditional, which I think would also kind of carry through a bit, and Mexican dresses, and then a little bit of Native American. It's very I had a rough time finding some good credible Native American outfits from like the Wild West times. And then here are some attempts to try to blend them together, because eventually their cultures would kind of come together. So these are some ideas on what cloud cowboys would actually end up wearing. Going with kind of like, there's a lot of having a sash or a belt with like some parts dangling. This is supposed to be that right over left idea that some of those Chinese outfits go through, where it's like it's only the other way if they're dead. Headband ideas, kerchiefs are really common, and then kind of taking this specific button idea mostly from Chinese culture and designs. And that's the end of my sketchbook. What do you know? So, thank you guys all for coming out. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, you can always feel free to comment on literally any of my videos. I try to hit up people when they leave comments, especially if they leave questions, and answer and interact with you guys. I am working on my next video, but it will probably still be a while because I'm actually working really hard on it, and I'm really hoping you guys are going to like it. It's for Turn the Lights Off by Callie Hall for Majora's Mask. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day and a good Saturday, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye! Oh yeah, of course, sorry you came right at the end, Misty, but you can always chat me up in the comments.